Hi, welcome, brothers and sisters. So, man, another video, another title. You know, I really don't like making videos. I do understand this, but you know, it's a heavy burden, man. It's a heavy burden, but you know, sometimes you gotta bear that burden. And hopefully my words won't fall on deaf ears. You know, hopefully, you know, people won't take certain things into account when listening to these videos. Remember Moses, man. Remember Moses, man. You know, but you know, y'all see the title, man. You know, what is it? Toxic masculinity. I had to deal with this issue because, you know, I want to help men combat this issue. The issue of toxic masculinity. First things first. I mean, this is an easy subject to debunk. I mean, it's just so simple. It's just not funny, but toxic masculinity, man. You gotta ask yourself, what is this thing about? I mean, we're using this term as if it's actually a real thing. It does not truly exist. See, we as men define what masculinity is. You know, that overly aggressive, that braggadocious, egotistical, that's not toxic masculinity. That has nothing to do with masculinity. You know, this is what these women are referring to when they're talking about toxic masculinity. They believe that this is being masculine, when in fact all of this overly bravado, all of this, I mean, this shit is feminine. It's borderline homosexual in nature. It truly is, man. See, a truly masculine man doesn't have anything to prove. He doesn't have anything to prove to anyone else. True masculinity could never be toxic. You know, there's no such thing as toxic masculinity, because what these women believe to be masculine is actually feminine behavior that these males learn from their mothers. If you even think about anything the average woman is talking about, 9 times out of 10 she's talking about herself. She's like, I mean, these are some very self-centered, egotistical creatures, and I'm looking at them like, damn, you know, can you ever get out of your own head? Like, everything has to be about you. Like, me, oh, I'm independent, I'm strong, I'm educated, I don't need no man. I I mean, this is all I hear. Straight egotistical nonsense. You know, now I understand when you're a group who is not necessarily promoted in society, you tend to start grasping at straws. Because to throw up your education is grasping at straws. You understand this, right? You brothers understand how a person throwing up the fact that they have a degree is grasping at straws. You know? See, because men don't brag about their degrees. And no other race of women brags about their degrees. See, a degree to a man is only a piece of paper that entitles you to get a job in a certain career field. That's all your degree states. You know, your degree also comes with, you know, depending on what it is, it can come with an astronomical amount of debt attached to it. And if you do not get a job in that specific career field, which, you know, BAWs don't do in most cases, they're not getting jobs in these career fields, the same career fields they go to college for. You know? But, you know, what I'm saying is that, you know, these are feminine traits. These are feminine traits. And they have nothing to do with masculinity. See, a truly masculine man doesn't have to brag. He doesn't have to boast. He doesn't have to throw up. He doesn't have to go out and buy some rims. He doesn't have to be overly braggadocious. He doesn't have to, you know, a true man who is comfortable in his own masculinity is not someone who has to show off. He doesn't have to, you know, let everybody know that he's the man, he's rich, he got it like that, whatever. You know, but this is what these fake masculine men do. And then they end up giving all men a bad rep. You know? And we already know that the vast majority of black men are not thug, criminal ass drug dealer Negroes. Even though that's what the media promotes. Most black men are just regular dudes. There's millions of black men on this planet. I mean in the United States. And the vast majority of them are not selling dope. You know, the problem that we have is that the media promotes, the fake-ish media promotes these negative stereotypes about black men. And these BAWs internalize this and they start to believe that it is true. Now, a lot of black men are out there pretending that they're thug, criminal ass Negroes because that is the only way they will be accepted by a BAW. We already know that she's not going to accept you. If you're an educated man, well spoken, just doing your thing, the vast majority of them are not going to accept you, man. You're lame, you're a cornball, you're the white man's bitch, all these things. You're all of these things. You're the opposite of masculine in her eyes. But the fact that she's going on about this toxic masculinity thing, it just goes to show you that she believes that this kind of behavior is masculine, and that is so masculine that it has become toxic. She believes men being overly emotional, popping off at any given moment, not thinking, not being calculating, not being logical. This is masculinity. That's in her eyes, this is masculinity. So when the BAW starts talking that toxic masculinity crap, you need to be very careful, because she'll put out a meme and then men will start using the same terms as if this thing exists. It is not real. There is no such thing as toxic masculinity. These behavioral traits represent feminine traits, because that's what women do in general. They tend not to think. They tend not to they tend to make decisions irrationally, not considering, not women don't tend to have a holistic view of things. At least these modern westernized females, they don't have a holistic view of life. Their view of life is mainly, day to day, how can I get this? How can I get this money? How can I take advantage of this person? How can I get this for myself? This is as far as her thinking prowess goes. I mean, it's like just immediate gratification. And she keeps black men stuck in this base paradigm. This is base. This is hypersexuality, this all of this. Y'all know what I'm talking about. She keeps black men in this very basic paradigm. If you step outside of that paradigm, if you step outside of chasing women, worrying about what some females doing, worried about some female, what she's saying, what she talking about, then you may be considered masculine in her eyes. See, before you start yelling toxic masculinity, you have to know what masculinity is. Before you label something as toxic, you have to know what that thing is. You can't just run out there, something pops into your head one day. Oh, toxic masculinity. I'm gonna run with that. Because then you do yourself a grave disservice. I mean, look at what's happening due to the fact that women are out here attacking masculinity. When you attack masculinity, I mean, what are you gonna end up with? A bunch of neutered Negroes? These are the same women who are sitting around talking about how they want to be protected. So what do you want? You want a bunch of neutered Negroes to protect you? See, I mean, and even that argument falls flat on its face. How do protection starts at home. Protection starts with how you go out into the world, how you dress, how you present yourself. That is a form of protection. Obviously, if you go out into the world and you're dressed like a $2 whore, then there's likely to be a lot of men staring at you. Women walk around with these, acting all masculine. I mean, pretending to act masculine. Because they're saying that, oh, I gotta be this because I live in this environment. No, you just have to dress better. Just dress accordingly. I mean, just dress according to your environment. If you live in an environment where there's a lot of criminal activity, going outside dressed like a $2 whore, where all of your hold on. No. God. Hurry up. Yeah. Like I said, going outside dressed like a $2 whore, that doesn't afford you a sense of protection. And men are not going to protect you when you dress like a whore. I mean, they're going to be like, well, why? I mean, a logical thinking man is going to be like, well, she going to be talking about how she got raped. And a logical man is going to be like, well, why the hell is she going outside half naked? Why is she at the club shaking her ass, shaking what her mama gave her? And then when somebody roofies her drink and she ends up in the back, she ends up in the back seat of somebody's car because she just kicking it, having fun. And something ends up happening to her. Now she's yelling, toxic masculinity, black men don't protect me. Now y'all got to figure out what y'all want. I'm just basing this on your belief systems. Since you believe that certain things represent masculinity, man. If a black male protecting you represents masculinity, then what do you get when you keep trying to attack masculinity? He's not going to protect you, nor should he. See, the Most High is not the author of confusion. He gave us specific standards, specific rules to govern our behavior by. Now, just because you don't like what the Most High stated and you want to change the rules to suit your own whims, and you can't argue when you get your ass handed to you. Who you gonna call? Who you gonna argue with? Who you gonna blame? You did that to yourself. Men cannot protect you. See, that's what true masculinity is. A man will see you, he'll be like, damn girl, you out here. Look how you dress, man. Damn, your butt's hanging. I've seen women walking around with literally their booty cheeks hanging out of their behinds. Now, if I walked up to this said woman and told her, that's not a good look. Go home and put some clothes on, because that would be protecting you, right? But the first thing a man is gonna get in that situation is, mind your damn business. Don't be worrying about do. You do you, I do me. And last time I remember is, you women don't need no men. You don't need no men. Y'all are very confusing, man. Y'all are very confusing. See, we need women who are gonna stand for us and whoop any woman's ass who does not stand for us. Y'all need to shut them down, because right now it's a lot of confusion, man. It's a lot of confusion. You have women that are, we got the quote unquote get the bag females. Then you got these ugly girl arguments, man. These are two groups of women that are basically trying to compete with each other. Now the ugly girls are trying to shame you to death, saying that you need to pick them. You don't need to be thinking about how much y'all weighed. That's a health issue. That's a health and that's a financial issue. People's financial health. A person's finances, people's finances are being destroyed each and every day because of health issues. But black men, logical thinking black men, are not supposed to be concerned with that. You're supposed to overlook that. I got a bunch of kids by other different dudes. That's a financial issue, that is a health issue, and those are safety issues. First of all, a man has to consider who the hell you have children by. Is he a good, decent brother, or is he a thug, criminal ass Negro that he might have to go upside his head, or he might get his head going upside? Cause some overly feminine dude. See, these are feminine traits, because a logical man, masculinity is based on a man's ability to think his way out of things. It's not based on his ability to overreact, to overcomplicate situations that are already messed up. That is not being masculine. Your masculinity is based on your ability to outthink your enemies, outthink your and outthink your environment, man. That's why black men are supposed to be in a constant state of preparedness. When everything is cool, everything is calm, he's supposed to be preparing. But as I stated, man, I mean, what do you women really want out of life? Because, like I said, you got these ugly girl arguments, and then you have you have the ugly girl arguments, then you have the get the bag female arguments. These are two different subgroups, and they're fighting for the attention. I mean, they're fighting for, you know, the love and affection and money and resources of black men, you know. Now, to get the bag females, these are the more finer females, the more you know, beautiful. You know, they don't tend to delve in ugly girl arguments. You know, sometimes they get caught up in the fake sisterhood until they actually figure out that, hold up, I'm not down with all that. I don't have to deal with none of that goofy shit y'all are dealing with. I'm fine. Now, a fine ass woman is a black man's reward, man, for being a dominant brother, man. That is his reward. You know, because basically the men with the most resources, the most get up and go, the most, you know, gusto, the most the brother's ability to outthink his enemies and dominate his environment are the men who get to choose, you know, get to pick. I mean, they basically get their pick of the litter, man. You know, they get the finest women. Now, the problem I have with you get the bag females is that you what are you gonna do with the bag? You don't look at our condition as a people overall. You just think about yourself, man. A lot of y'all are so, I mean, all I hear coming out your mouth is me, my, what I'm not getting, what these black men, I mean, it's not as if you're talking about, okay, black men from a, you know, just a, you just speaking upon black men in general. You speaking upon black men based on what you not getting from the black man. It's like, you don't give a damn about no damn black man. You just care about, you just mad because you're not, you ain't able to get the bag like you want, man. You want the bag so bad, but you just not, you know, willing to, you know, when you get it, it's like the bag, and I mean, those are financial issues right there. Those lead to financial ruin. Because if a man is out there, he's going out there, he's getting the bag, he's doing this and that, you think he's gonna put all of his resources in the hands of some gold digging type female who's just gonna, I mean, it's nothing wrong with her having, you know, a few nice things here and there. I mean, I'm not with it all, but you know, this is America. But but you know, the fact is that a lot of y'all will lead your husbands into financial ruin. Y'all are gonna lead your husbands into financial ruin because you just had to have the Gucci and the Donna Karen and the Fendi and all this goofy shit, you know? That has nothing to do with black men as a group. That has nothing to do with our plight in general. As a group of people, who gives a fuck? Like I said, what are you going to do with this man's money? What are you going to do with it? You're going to trick it off. Again, huge financial issue. And I'm going to make a video on, you know, letting black men know that you women are just not as fine as you think you are. You know? I mean, black men need to really learn how to look at these women and see them for what they are and stop looking at them as these beautiful creatures. Yes, they're beautiful, but what you got to remember is the Most High made a lot of beautiful women. I mean, he did not stop. He is making these things non-stop. He is making these things non-stop. I'm trying to tell you, brothers, man. This is not stopping. You do not have to look at one woman and be like, oh, she's so fine, and I'm gonna put my whole life in danger because this one fine woman. The Most High is making fine ass women at the fine ass woman at the fine ass. Excuse my language. The Most High is making fine women. I mean, he is like on on a roll. You know, he is making them finer and finer and finer and finer. So if you worried about, if you worried about one particular female, that's on you, man. Don't let these women put your life in jeopardy. Damn, it's funny how these women can emotionalize you, man, real quick. How easy it is. Like, damn. Hit you with the emotional trick bag. Like, damn. It's unfortunate, man. It is unfortunate, man. But a lot of things that these men are doing have nothing to do with masculinity, man. All of this walking around with your head and killing other black men, acting like wannabe thugs out here doing drugs and delving in all types of ignorant buffoonery. That has nothing to do with masculinity. See, a man, we walk around and we talk about, black men are the kings. We kings. We kings. You don't have control over your own self, man. You don't have control over your own how you gonna rule over somebody else as a king when you can't even rule over your own self, man. Your base instincts. Man, that is something that takes extreme amount of discipline, man. Discipline. Anyway, man, this toxic masculinity thing, man, this is garbage, man. Men have to be very careful about what they, what terms they pick up and start using. Cause then we start to tell ourselves there is something called toxic masculinity. It's a real thing. I could imagine somebody just coming up with a phrase and a word and projecting it out on you and you picking it up and running with it. Like, yeah, now you using it. Now you spreading it around. But this thing does not even exist. It's vaporware, man. It's not real. Man. On that note, I want to say peace. Hit the comment section. Let me know what you think. Get on the 5 steps and adopt the moral code.